Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on TEM testing, one of a continuing series of educational webinars from WindowBook. My name is Monica Lundquist, and I am Postal Affairs and Support Manager here at WindowBook. Assisting me today is our Mailing Industry Software Specialist, Steve Dowdy. The specific agenda items we'll be covering during today's webinar are as follows. What exactly is TEM testing? We'll talk a bit about the various TEM scenarios. We'll explain how to get started doing TEM testing, and also a bit about the tools that you'll need to begin TEM testing. Then we'll have a live demo showing how electronic documents are submitted using PostalOne in the TEM environment. TEM stands for Test Environment for Mailers. It is a section of PostalOne that is designed to allow mailers to submit electronic mailing files in a test mode. This section of PostalOne replicates the production environment, so mailers testing in this mode are assured that their tests will mimic live production. This testing allows mailers to practice using PostalOne for electronic documentation and to try out different file formats and mailing scenarios before going live with production. It also provides a testing and certification process, which ensures that mailers have tested all the scenarios related to their types of mailings, and this is done to certify that their internal processes will work for production. This testing and certification process is required for mailers that are wishing to participate in intelligent mail. We encourage all mailers to try the TEM environment, even if they don't plan to use intelligent mail. Electronic documentation is simply more efficient, and mailers can use eDoc even without participating in intelligent mail, and it costs nothing to try it. Within the testing and certification process of TEM, there are a number of specific mailing scenarios that are defined by the Postal Service. These scenarios are established by the Postal Service for the purpose of certifying that mailers' processes can produce and submit the appropriate eDoc, or electronic documentation. For this reason, these scenarios vary by class of mail, processing category, and type of mail processing. For example, there are different scenarios for mailers who use multi-line optical character reader equipment to sort their mail than there are for mailers who use pre-sort software. These scenarios are generic in nature. They are not tailored to each unique mailer. As such, mailers will find that within some scenarios, there may be elements that some mailers will not run into in a production environment. Nevertheless, all the elements of all the applicable scenarios must be performed and passed during TEM certification testing in order to participate in intelligent mail. Depending on a mailer's specific situation, they may need to complete just a single scenario for testing, or they may need to complete many scenarios. The number of scenarios required for certification will influence how long the testing process will take. So, how do mailers get started with TEM testing? The first thing mailers should do is go to the Postal Service's RIBS website and download the TEM checklist and troubleshooting document. Mailers should read this document to understand more about the various TEM testing scenarios and to select the checklists that match the types of mailings that you do. The more different types of mailings you do, the more extensive your TEM testing process will be. All TEM testing occurs on PostalOne, so you will need to access the Business Customer Gateway from the Postal Service website to get started. Here you will download the Postal Service's software, which is called MD Client, for the TEM environment. If you have not already done so, you will need to apply for a Mailer Identification Number, or MID, and Customer Registration Identification Number, or CRID. This information must be populated in the mail.dat files that are transmitted to PostalOne during the testing, and these uniquely identify you as a mailer. Lastly, you will need to gather together the various mail.dat files that reflect the types of mailings that you do. If you have multiple types of mailings, we suggest that you start with the easiest ones first, or the ones that have the fewest scenarios in the Postal Service checklist. There are some tools that you will need to proceed with your TEM testing. TEM testing is much easier if you have post pre-sort software, such as WindowBook's DatMail, which allows for easy editing and transmission of mail.dat files. You will also need internet access, a PostalOne account, and the Postal Service